This episode of the Paycast Network podcast is sponsored by Deja Vu, payment technology that helps you get ahead of the competition and keep you there. Thanks for joining us. Let's jump into today's episode.
Welcome into the Paycast Network. We have another full house today. This is part 2 of our New Year's episode. So if you didn't watch part 1, we talked about... Shame on you. We talked about best practices to finish out the year to set yourself up for 2026 or really any new year coming up. So now we're going to talk about the new year and going forward. But before we do that, I have the best beard of the business to my right.
Hey, everyone.
James.
Hey, Chase. How's it going?
Good. How are you, James?
I'm doing well.
And then Paycast best friends Stephen Morris and Jason Isidore.
What's going on, everybody?
Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having us again.
Thanks for having us back.
So, like I said, if you haven't watched part 1 of the New Year's episode already, go back and do that. Some really insightful stuff from these two gentlemen and, of course, the beard about how to finish out strong, how to use some of your time to end out the year to propel you into a very productive new year. But now we're going to talk from New Year's on. So let's start with January 1st on. What are some best practices or some things that you all do, whether it's professionally, personally, to set yourself up for the next 12 months?
Yeah. January is a big month for me to get started and get the program and the plan going. So for me, the biggest part of January for me is I want to make sure my activity is great. My goal is to do 2,000 cold calls in 2026 . Okay.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Hold me to
Well,
it.
he's on camera, so
I'm on
he's
camera.
getting held to
I'm telling people out there in the ethosphere, I'm doing 2,000 cold calls.
I'm going to copy and paste this episode and play it.
No.
See you back in a year. And we'll
Listen, do it because I want to hold myself accountable. So for the month of January, I start off the month big time. My first week in January, I want to do 100 cold calls the first week.
Okay.
Is this an every year thing or is this
This is an every year thing.
Okay.
I want to kick the year off right. Every year I get active because at the end of the day, if I want to reach those goals that I set for 2026, the only way I can do it is to be active.
Right.
And the only thing we can control is our activity.
Now, I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How do you measure that? You have a CRM that you use?
I have the old school paper CRM.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really?
I have a weekly sheet that I'm old school, right? I'm old school. I enjoy putting stuff pen to paper.
He's pre-elderly school.
Pre-elderly school.
So,
There
when you
go.
open your billfold, you got
There you
pictures
go.
of your kid, he has a list right there.
I have the
where
list.
pictures
He has a
should be.
roll.
I have the list.
Now
I have
he's
the list.
making old jokes.
No.
Right.
No. And so for me, January is a kickoff to get the year going right, and so I keep my activity high. I want to do 200 cold calls for the month to get it going because that's going to spur me into the goals that I've set, right? And the only way I can reach the goals that I set for the year is to do the activity.
Okay,
right.
so I have two questions for you.
Yep.
First one, you said this is something you do every year, 2,000 cold calls every year.
Yep.
How did you do this year?
Didn't do well.
Okay.
I will listen, and
I
I'm
love the honesty.
No, and I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to tell a lot of agents that are watching this that are seasoned. It's very easy in our industry to get lazy. You know, we build up a portfolio. We're making great residuals monthly. You get to kind of a point where you don't really have to do the blocking and tackling, the hard X's and O's.
You know.
And the thing about it is I want to get back to going to the blocking and tackling because the activity takes me there. And so to answer the question, no, I haven't been
So
doing
follow-up question.
Yes.
And I appreciate the honesty. You haven't done as good as you hoped.
It's just
so
easy,
looking back as you reflect and as you prepare for the year ahead, what could you have done better?
Last year?
Just this year.
Do activity.
Yeah.
Do the activity. I say this all the time. The only thing we can control every day we wake up is our activity and our attitude. That is it. We can't control if we're going to walk into the next great deal. We can't control if we're going to get beat up. We can't control. We can control
Pointing at me like
knocking
he's
on
going to beat
doors.
me up.
No,
Did you notice that?
I'm here for it.
hey,
I know you are.
no. So
I'm here for it.
Watch out now.
Just because we do trivia once an
Watch
episode.
out now. But we can control that. And so to answer the question, I want to control my activity and I want to stick to the blocking and tackling.
All right,
Stick to the X's and O's.
Yeah,
the
I like
X's and O's of sales.
For me, it is swimming in some new pools. What does that mean, Stephen? That means that I want to start looking at some verticals that may need processing, or they do need processing, but people are not focusing on. I truly believe, and you guys are probably doing a bunch of episodes on this, we're going more towards a software model. And so nothing against the payment conferences. I think it's great when you go and you're networking with your colleagues, but I want to learn more about the ISV side. And so what does that mean? I got to start swimming in some new pools in verticals that are talking about software and talking about, what's going to happen as we move forward. Because I truly believe that the software vendors are coming into our space strong, and they're going with all the aggregators. They're going with Stripe. They're going with Square. They're going with the PayPals and all the things that are easy. And so I want to start swimming in that pool so that way I can try to expand my network that way. I like cold calling from time to time, and I love what you have as far as that goal. But for me, I just want to expand my network. My philosophy is your network is your net worth. So the more people I meet that I can work with and can influence me to be their payments partner, that's my motto for 2026. All right.
And Steven, same question for you. Looking back, how do you feel you did last year?
Oh, I did horrible.
Okay.
Yeah, 2025 was 2025. I mean, it's exactly what he said. I coasted a lot. Now, of course, I spent a lot of time this year training new salespeople because I feel that that's where my legacy is. But as far as like going to see customers on a regular basis, that passion, it died a little bit. But like I said, I know how to revive it back up again.
Why do you think that is? What do you think you could do better about that?
I just didn't have enough time. Like I said, I spent most of this year training new people, and you got to get back to that core. So I cannot turn it on. Of course, any given time you can always cut it back on and go back out in the streets. But I'm at a stage where I want to be more strategic with my time and more focused. It may take a little bit longer to get there, but once you get there, it's a great place to be.
Do you guys find that, like we mentioned in part one, that kind of December timeframe can be a little slow because a lot of merchants are very busy, right? And they kind of pay more attention, like you mentioned. How do you think that affects their receptiveness to being sold to in the early part of the next year? Or do you think it does at all?
I don't think it affects it that much. I just think they're in more of a buying mood in January because a lot of people, they look at a lot of the businesses I deal with, they deal in quarters. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. You'll hear in Q4, hey, we're not going to do that until Q1. So you get a lot of folks that are in Q1 buying cycles where you can go in, they're ready they're receptive, more receptive than they would have been in December. And, they kind of sometimes have the mindset we have as sales guys. It's a new year for them. They're looking to change some things in the business. They're looking to upgrade some systems. And so Q1, for their mentality that I've found is a lot of times they're ready to do some stuff.
And then Q1 also, I always feel like that's a great time to talk as a salesperson to lead with that question. Hey, Mr. Merchant, what are you looking to do this year that you didn't do last year? That's a great high-level question to get them to open up about what they went through. Because everybody's always going to tell you, we get to like the last couple of weeks in the year and they're like, oh, God, I can't wait for next year. New year, new me. That's the model we always hear. And so present that to the merchants. Hey, Mr. Merchant, how was last year? They may tell you, hey, last year was phenomenal. What did you do that other businesses didn't do? Like, that's a great opener to get out there. So the beginning of the year, everybody has this new mindset, or they should have a new mindset of what they want to do. Business owners are the same.
James, from your perspective, is there any difference in activity merchant-wise for technology, looking for technology, anything like that when they start a new year?
Not necessarily on my end. Like I mentioned in part one, things during the holiday season are typically kind of slow as far as changing technology out. And like I mentioned, that big reason for that is they want their holiday sales to go smooth without any sort of friction or pain points. But I definitely see interest start to peak right after the end of January as we start to get full steam into the new year. That's when things start to pick up a bit more.
Now, I have a question for you. Do you see on the technology side like certain times of the year where new technology comes out at a certain time of every year? Is it like, the spring, hey, these things are starting to, or is it can be any time?
Yes and no. And yes, some of the players out there, PAX is a great example of this. They have their PAXCon event every holiday season, right around the start of the December, right? And so they'll usually make some new announcements there. And some of the other vendors like that, they'll have like a preset show, if you will, where they release. But everyone else, they tend to stagger it, right? Because you don't want to have your big release and then be overshadowed by another big release from somebody else. So you'll see a bit of staggering there. But then on the other side, you'll also have that cut-through competition too, where somebody releases an update and now you do need to overshadow it. So you kind of see it happening on both ends. But honestly, at the rate technology moves so fast, it's all you can do to keep up.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely.
So we've talked about what we kind of want to do, what we want to add in the new year, right? Add a few more doors or whatever. Maybe you guys. What did you say?
No, I was mumbling. I said as you were talking, I was thinking out loud.
Oh, okay. I love when you
Care to share with the class?
mumble on the podcast.
No, I said
Mumble on your own time.
I'm pre-elderly. Sorry.
We're on a podcast. Don't mumble on a podcast.
But like I said, so we have talked a little bit about some things that we want to do better, right? So maybe some things we want to add to our routine or whatever it is. Do you guys ever take time to think about bad habits that maybe we're going to break in the new year? Like things that we want to stop doing, maybe that we were doing before?
Yeah, I do. I think one of the things I do want to work on next year, and it's going to be hard for people watching this to believe this. I want to talk less.
I'm sitting here not watching this, and I find that hard to believe.
And I'm going to tell you what I mean by talk less. I think a lot of times I have talked myself out of many deals over the years.
Agreed.
When the sale happens, close the sale, shut your mouth, and keep it moving. And one of the things I find myself doing, and it's just my personality type, and it's lent me it's created a lot of success. But there's certain times where I just don't know when to stop talking. And it's killed some sales. Hard to believe. And so that's something all jokes aside, that's something I really would like to work on. I think that's something I need to learn when to stop talking in a sale.
Not on a podcast.
Chase,
Not on a podcast.
Chase is like dying.
No.
No, in a sale, not a podcast.
What about you, Steven?
Time wasted.
Yeah.
That's like my big thing,
That's a
man.
good one,
Like
too.
how much time have I wasted?
That's a good one, too.
Where I could have been being more productive.
I think it's interesting you say that because on the answer to my previous question for you, you said that you didn't have enough time.
Right.
And so, someone once told me that we find time for the things that are most important to us.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
And so, fascinating.
That is, well, like I said, I'm not perfect. But my biggest downfall is I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
And everyone will tell you, oh, Steven's got this going on, he's got that going on. And I do have a lot going on.
Yeah.
But if you master your time, you can master a lot, and that's my weakness.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pulled in so many different directions, and it's good because you want to be influential, you want to be relevant, but you also don't want to give so much of your time to people
there's
and
nothing
things
left.
that waste it.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's my downfall. Sometimes I pour more into people than did you just mumble?
No. All right. I would never.
So sometimes you pour into people where you want more for them than they want for themselves, and I got to learn how to pull back with that.
Yeah.
As guys that have been doing it for a long time, and this applies to you as well, James. I think I probably know your answer, though. When you're setting goals or numbers or whatever it is starting the year, do you, at this point in your careers, set any type of goals for more education? Learning more, whether it's technology or whatever it is?
Yeah, I do. One of my goals for 2026, and I've actually started a couple months ago, and Steve kind of got me onto this. I'm not a big reader. Reading takes a lot of focus, and I find myself drifting a lot of times when I'm reading a book. So I got into audiobooks. And I have made it a point to listen to one audiobook a week. And what I do is I turn my car into a mobile school and a mobile library. And so I've found myself so much in the past just kind of listening to music, daydreaming when I'm driving.
Yeah.
And so I've actually been listening to an audiobook and turned my car into a mobile education studio, if you will. And so that's been my goal, is to do more audiobooks. And I've listened to, over the last couple months, I've listened to 4 audiobooks, and they've just been great.
Yeah.
Favorite book you listened to this year, and go.
Favorite book this year? It's got to be a Brian Tracy book. The last one was Eat That Frog.
Okay.
But Brian Tracy's my guru, but
Brian Tracy.
For me, it's Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell.
Dan Martell.
That's like one of my greatest books.
Which
right
I'm
now.
actually listening to right now per his recommendation.
Great book. Psychology of Selling was another one.
Yeah. 7 Habits by Stephen Covey's in the library. That's kind of a classic.
Actually, I gave a referral out to a rep that was having problems closing. There's a book called The Art and the Science of Closing by Zig Ziglar. Great book.
Yeah,
I read a lot of sales books, and actually Warren Buffett says a quote that I love. He says, "Wealthy people have large libraries, poor people have large televisions."
Yep.
So what that means is we spend a lot. I mean, we spend a lot of time on our phones, on our devices. And we waste a lot of time, and we're watching people that are making moves, and we want to be the ones that make moves. So educate yourself, no matter what you're selling, no matter what you're interested in, the world is a real big oyster of information. You just have to be laser beam focused on what you're going to commit to. So reading has helped out a lot, and also just learning about my craft and make sure I'm good at it. If my merchants know more about payments than I do, there's a problem.
There's a problem.
Yeah.
James, do you ever try to learn anything new about technology?
I mean, contrary to popular belief, I do have interests outside of technology. I actually just recently read a really good book, Think Big by Ben Carson.
Oh, very good book.
And,
Great book.
So I do have hobbies outside of this.
I always imagine him going home and like, as he's preparing to get into the bed, he looks on the nightstand and there's like a P18 right on his side. Good night, honey.
I imagine him talking to AI or something as he's going. Good night, AI.
I've got a couple P5s in my night drawer.
Now, James, you actually should look into cloning your voice for AI. I could see you on the Rated Med.
His voice is pretty close to AI already.
Yeah, that's why I would love it. You got some checks waiting on you from Alexa and
we could probably sell
Ray-Ban Metas.
You got those made of the Ray-Bans, right?
I got Aquafina in my iCloud. I want James Ringstaff.
I'll see what I can do to get my voice in your ear.
He should sell his voice, Ian.
He's got a good voice.
Yeah.
He's got a good voice.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
So I just thought of this question from what you guys were saying, and it doesn't specifically revolve around the new year, but I think we can bring it all together because people are trying to better themselves, learn things, have their resolutions. What is a book or a documentary or an article or something that you have read that isn't sales specific that you think has helped you the most in your career?
Oh my goodness.
If that makes sense. Did you read like The Lion, the Witch in the Wardrobe one time, and the Tumnus taught you a lesson or something like that?
Wow, good question. Most of the books I read are sales books, honestly, because when I read something, it has to keep my interest. I read Derek Jeter's autobiography. I love Derek Jeter.
That's a good one.
I loved his coming up story and how he got to be great.
Yeah,
and just the way he carried himself. But good question. I'll pass it to Steve. I
got one if you guys need to
Mine's is David Goggins. And
David
Goggins. I love David Goggins. Now, he cusses like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But that book can't hurt me. And then there's another part to it called Never Finish. I just like his story. Like he comes from the dirt.
Oh, yeah.
And he just looks at it this way. His motto at the end of the day is life is hard. We none of us can control the cards that we're dealt. But you got to get up and kick butt every single day. You can't let life beat you up. And that's the sad part. Like, I see people all the time, like, things happen in their life, and they just kind of succumb and cower down. Yeah. And I get it. You know, it hurt. It's going to be painful, but you got to find a way to keep fighting. And that's moving. Not in sales. That is a life lesson.
Oh, yeah.
That is a life lesson.
Yeah. Do you have one, James?
I got so emotional just hearing that from Steven.
The Goggins books? I read both of those.
Yeah,
on a serious note, I heard that first. I've read that first book. What was the second one again?
Never Finished.
Never Finished. I've not read that one yet.
Because the first book, he talks mostly about his military and how, his life story with his dad and all that. I mean, tough childhood, goes into the military, kicks butt, becomes a Navy SEAL, couple other accomplishments. The second book, he becomes an ultra marathon runner, and he talks about how life is never like you're not finished until you take your last breath.
Is he the one that's run 100-mile marathon?
Oh, he's run hundreds of them. He's run 4 ultra marathons, 4 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So be like David Goggins in the new year.
Don't
you have one?
Yeah, I actually do quite a few outside of merchant services. Most of the books I read are more on the religious side. What you may or may not know is I'm a returning student, so studying theology. And I've been getting into some historical texts that I find interesting. The Desire of Ages has been quite good. It's part of a whole great controversy, Conflict of the Ages series. And it basically talks from both a basis on the scriptures, but also the historical narrative from Genesis all the way through Revelation.
Nice.
And so I like seeing that historical piece.
Yep.
I like historical documentaries. History Channel is fantastic. National Geographic. And so quite a lot there.
Okay. Yeah. So I got one. I've read this book probably 3 or 4 times now. I got it when I was in like high school, I think. It's called The Universe in Your Hand. And the author, I don't remember his name, but he starts from as small as you can go to a molecule, and he goes all the way up to the largest bodies in the universe, and he explains them, these very technical, mathematical, whatever theories in ways that like a normal person can understand.
Right.
And I've read it so much, and I think it helps me because when you get to the part where you're talking about space, if you've ever heard a fact or read anything about space, it can make you feel really small. But for me, it helps me kind of realize that no matter what is going on, if I'm having a bad day or work's not going great or whatever, like there's another day, like it's not the end of the world.
That's right.
The earth still spins. We're still going around the sun. Like we're really kind of small in the grand scheme of things. So that helps me kind of keep things in perspective to say that like, right now might suck, but
it's going to get better.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's not
The author of that book is Christoph Galfart, The Universe in Your Hands.
That's it.
Christoph.
That's the one. Yeah.
Nice. Shout out to you, Christoph.
Yep. Okay. Well, gentlemen, any other, like I said, we're trying to help people, especially in merchant services, kind of launch themselves into the new year, set goals, stick to the goals. Any tips on how to stick to those goals?
My advice is figure out your why.
Yep.
If you figure out your why, then the how is irrelevant. And what do I mean by that? Let's say, for instance, most of us have kids. I think you're the only one that doesn't have a child. Let's say, for instance, your child has a disease, and the doctor's like, "Hey, I can cure this disease, but it's going to cost $50,000." Are you going to find that way to get that $50,000? You are because you love your child, right?
Yeah.
And so how you do it, now you can rob a bank. I'm not suggesting that, but you can ask, 50,000 people. You can do GoFundMe. You got so many ways that you can make money. But what will keep you going is the fact that you want to save your child, because the doctor said that if you pay me $50,000, I can do it. Well, once you find your why, the how is irrelevant. I think the reason why people quit or stop going after their goals is because the why is not strong enough.
Or maybe it was never there.
Right, exactly. Or maybe you were doing it for the wrong reason. Like, you'd be amazed. I have so many people that I talk to. I'm like, yeah, man, is money a motivator to you? And they're like, yeah, I love money. I'll do this. And then you're like, okay, well, let's do this. And they're like, oh, I just don't want. So now your why is
money,
not there.
but not the work involved.
There you go. There you go. You have to have an important enough why. In order to activate the how. You'll get there, but that why's got to keep you going.
And another thing I would say, and this is kind of a Brian Tracy thing, write your goals down. One of the things that's part of my morning routine, I was telling Stephen this, I have a morning routine. Every morning I wake up. I like to think, I like to visualize, I like to meditate, do some things to kind of get my day activated. One of the things Brian Tracy says is, all right, you've got goals. We're going to set our resolutions, which we've been talking about. Write them down. And one of the things I do is when you write stuff and you get in the habit of writing stuff down, every morning I write my goals down. I've got a little journal and I write them down. Put them on the mirror where I did this when I was playing baseball. Put your goals where you can see them every morning. I put them in the bathroom on the mirror. Read them every morning. Read them before. And after a while, those goals get ingrained in your head where this is what I'm doing. It's no more a goal. I'm doing this.
Right.
And so write your goals down. And another thing, create a vision board. I used to have a vision board. When I first started Summit way back in the day, I visualized what I wanted. I wanted Stephen Morris wearing every dream
On the Paycast Network.
On the Paycast Network, every dream I ever had was to have Stephen Morris wear my hat, and here it is. I manifested this. No,
all right, you're done.
No, I had a vision board, and I would pick some things I wanted, and I created it, cut out the pictures, and I visualized it and saw it, and it's what I wanted. And
so somewhere out there, you have a picture cutout of
Stephen Morris.
This wearing your hat.
Freeze frame.
This was on the vision board. No. The vision board can kind of also be your why.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to have a reason why you want to make the money, why you're setting these goals. And so create a vision board. That's another thing where you can kind of see what you want.
Here's a way that you can find out somebody's why. Tell them, if money was no object, you had all the money in the world, what would you do?
Yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah.
That's how you find out your purpose. Take money, take the bills and the mortgage and the things out. You got all the money. You're Elon Musk times 8, right? You got all the money in the world.
Yeah.
What's your purpose?
Yeah. What would you do?
That's how you find your why.
Yeah. That's great.
That is really good.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
James, any stick to your resolution tips?
Life is hard. Keep your head down. Keep moving forward. Don't give up.
That's right.
There you go.
Don't let failure end it all. Let that be a refining moment.
Yep.
But learn from that. And actually, I would, I've heard this said 1,000 times over, but it's actually from the mistakes that you tend to learn the most.
Yeah.
When things go well, you don't think so much about it, right?
Yeah.
For instance, say you have dinner at a nice restaurant, right? And you go through. Dinner was great. Everything was good. You go home. The next day, you forget about it, right?
Yep.
It's when the dinner's bad.
Oh, yes.
Then you go
Shout out to
online.
Barbara.
And you're like, man, you gotta be like, man, I got to get online, go to Google, leave a 1-star review. I got to type out my paragraph, all the issues that went wrong.
Yeah.
And, that's when that kind of sticks with you, right?
Yeah.
But it's when that's good that it just doesn't stick.
Yeah.
So take those moments where you have those bad experiences and learn from those,
Yes.
because those are going to help refine you
learning moments,
and help you avoid those mistakes.
Yeah.
Like I tell
Preach,
staff,
brother.
it's okay to make mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. Go out and make new mistakes.
Yeah.
And so,
Ooh, I like
live
that.
That's
I
pretty
like
good.
that.
Can I quote you on that?
Yeah.
Make new
It's
mistakes.
going to be my LinkedIn quote next week. Go out and make
All
new
right.
mistakes.
I love it.
I'll give my tip, and then we'll wrap on this one. It's kind of a version of what you were saying, and I did not come up with this, but if I have something that I'm really trying to get done or specifically stay on top of, I make it somehow the background on my phone. Because so much of the distraction in my life is my phone.
Your phone,
Whether I'm calling or texting or
I like that.
sports or social media, whatever it is, I'm getting on
pretty
my
good.
phone to do it.
Yeah.
So before I do all those things that waste time, I see the thing that I should be doing
like that.
every
That's
single
pretty
time.
good.
That's good wisdom, bro.
That's what I do.
I did something similar like that during my early college years. On my laptop background, I had a black background with just white text.
Yeah.
And it just simply said, "Don't be stupid, do your work."
Yeah.
You need to get that one back on your.
I love
All
it.
right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so
Wow.
much for
Yeah.
coming on with us as always.
Yeah.
James, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for everybody watching.
Jason, Steven?
Thank you.
Like and subscribe. Happy New Year's from the Paycast Network. Thank you
Yes.
for watching this episode of
Pre-elderly payments.
the Paycast Network.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Ian, you
Nailed
have
that.
too much.
You got a lot of words, bro.